You understand me? Just hold it. Alright, bet. Ready?
You want to stand?
No, I'm not taking it. Shit, I ain't front. I'm gonna get my lean onto that. That's the wrong way, Kev.
What are you talking about? I haven't used one in a month.
He's still recovering old.
How you work this? You ready? You sure? Alright, bet. Yo, welcome back to Coolin Out. We are back another week. Rel, we're back. We got a special guest this week. Good friend, actually. Ain't seen you in years though, man.
Years, man.
Went to college with us. Got the boy Lovel James in the building. What's up, man?
I actually dropped the James, you know, it's just Lovel.
My bad. You see us, I know you're young nigga. I knew you
Yeah, you know, it's RT bag.
Yeah, he's like, nah. Listen, my name's Lovel.
It's like Prince.
Yeah, okay.
He was Prince. I didn't say Usher. He's up there.
You gotta shoot for the stars.
Man, you gotta land on the cloud.
Yeah, alright, man. What's up, man? How you been?
Working.
Working?
Tired. Can't complain though. You know, I'd rather be busy than broke. Rather be busy than bored.
What you been working on? Why you so tired?
Just so I'm an audio engineer, I'm an R&B singer, songwriter. So I've been doing TV and film work, sessions, performances, all of that stuff. And it's fashion week right now, so I've been at hella fashion week events. So it's been crazy.
You into fashion like that?
From Harlem, so.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, being from Harlem, like everybody in Harlem was like into fashion, but we not like into like fashion. But like, you know, my publicist was like, yo, I need you to be here and here and here. So I'm like, all right.
Gotcha. I didn't even know it was fashion week. That's it.
Yeah.
You see my life?
I'm
I'm button ups and slacks. I'm like, oh, it's fashion week? Cool.
Listen, I wouldn't know either unless if I have management like publicist models.
Gotcha. So, I mean, I knew you way back when.
Way back
like,
when,
what,
yeah.
2010 maybe?
From the first project.
Yeah, from the first project when you was, but she said I was. Actually, yo, I remember. Yeah, too much, yo.
Yeah, that was my jam.
That shit hit me hard, yo. Some chick told me I was too much. I was like, bitch. Then the whole summer I was listening to that shit. Where did I go wrong?
Actually, should have sent that to like your.
She knew something. Oh man. But, so let's talk about like your origins. You're from Harlem.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Harlem. Both my parents are like super creative, so they were like hella supportive of me doing music. And then like they were just like, yo, don't be broke out here. Like, so I was like, I'm not gonna be broke. Like real shit. Like it wasn't nothing crazy. It wasn't like, oh, you need to be a lawyer, you need to be a doctor, you need to be anything like that. I mean, and all power to every lawyer and doctor and all that shit. But they were just like, yo, don't be broke. Like,
yeah, no, I mean that's good that your parents support you because most artists and creatives, their parents don't.
yeah.
It's like, yo, you gotta be this, that, or the third, and that kills people's creativity because, like, from youth, you're told you have to like pick these certain careers, and that's all you really have.
Yeah, I mean, my mom, she's like a painter, so she couldn't really say shit. Like, she was like, you know, you paint. Like, and then my dad's just like a jazz connoisseur. Like, we go in his crib, there's like walls of like records that some he hasn't even opened. So,
Gotcha.
they both
That's
like,
good,
yeah. So it's cool. I mean, I know what really broke it for them is when they saw like my name and I did the Best Man Holiday, and then we went to see it, and they saw my name in the credits. And my dad was like, okay, alright, I'm not gonna say shit to this nigga. So I was like,
know what he did.
That's the best man holiday right there.
yeah, he bought the shit. He was like, you can sign this for me? I was like,
You gonna sell that shit in a couple of years? I would too. I'm like, oh yeah.
nah, she felt good though. He was proud as hell.
Nah, that's dope, man. Yeah, that's what's up. So as far as like making music, your beginning, your origins, like when did you first find out like you could sing? Like what was that first experience like?
It's the cliche church story. Like, we a church raised family, so like I was 5 years old, just like singing like this, like singing like just the church shit, you know. And then one day my mom was like, no, my brother and my sister, I'm the youngest. My brother and my sister, they both write. So like,
Right music?
Yeah, my sister sang too, and she wrote songs. My brother wrote raps. I mean, my brother shared a room, so like. He was always like, I don't want you to curse, and I don't want you, but he always cursed like, oh, be like in his rap and shit. So I was like, find his rap book, bro. So like one day I tore that whole room apart, and found his fucking rap book, and I was like, yo, this shit is lit.
Yeah.
And he was like, tight, but I was like, whatever, I don't care. I found the book.
Yeah.
So ever since I saw that, I was like, nah, bro, I got it right. And then my mom was like, she saw I was interested in all that shit, so she was like, yo, I don't want you to have to pay for studio time. So then after that, she was like, yo, make sure you learn how to do everything. And that's why I became an engineer, and then a producer, and a writer, and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
So how long does that all take? Like,
Shit.
none of that's
A long time. I mean, it's the way, like, I'll say growth with any creative. So, like, growth with anything that's not creative, I feel like it's like, just like diagonal. Whereas, like, growth with creatives is kind of like your ear, and then one day you wake up and you're here, and one day you wake up and you're here. So that's why it's like discouraging for a lot of people.
Gotcha.
Because you feel like you suck for a long time. Like, you don't see no improvement. And then one day you're like, oh, this shit kind of fire. And like, after a while, like, so,
Gotcha.
long time.
Well, how do you see you're getting a grasp with these respective things? Writing, audio engineering, how do you maybe get a grasp?
So the reason why I love all art is because it invokes some kind of emotion. Like, it makes you feel something. Like, you hear a song, like how you said, too much, that, like, it invokes some kind of emotion. Like you feel something physically. So, like, even if, like, a guitar player plays the right chord, you're like, oh, that shit was fire. You don't have to know anything about music to be like, that shit was fire. So it's the same kind of idea. When you write some shit, and you're like, yo, like, you like, dang, I feel that, like, you know. So that's kind of just how you gauge it, and then people's response, you know, if people fuck with it, things like that, you know.
So most of this stuff, like the singing, the writing, the audio engineer, is that more like self-taught correction, or did you like go to school for these things?
I would say 100% self-taught in my young days.
Yeah.
Like, I was just sitting on.
Yeah, I remember you in Hollis,
Yeah,
man.
I was up in Hollis.
At the studio upstairs, man.
Shout out Hollis. What's my 502? Shout out Hollis 502, 502, whatever. But yeah, like I was up in the studio, like just my room, just making stuff and just doing it and failing and then succeeding and then just failing and succeeding and fixing things. And after a while, the successes started to outweigh the failures, and that's how it happened.
How do you weigh successes and failures? You're talking to a non-creative, I'm not an artist. How do you weigh as an audio producer making your own music? What are you looking for?
For me, like, I'm not good at like failure. I'm not good at like doing something and not being satisfied.
Okay.
So I'll sit and I'll make a beat on the guy, that was trash.
You just know it's
I'll make
not
another
yet.
beat on that was trash.
Okay.
I'll make another beat on that trash. And like, out of like 5 or 6 beats, you make one, you're like, that kind of bop a little bit. I like that a little bit. And then as the days progress, as the weeks progress, when instead of like 5 joints being trash and 1 being good, you got maybe like 2 trash joints and 4 good.
More lining up.
Yeah. And then like after a while, it's like, I just made like a day of like heat, and then you're good. It's the same with writing and all that stuff.
Got you. So as far as your sound, what would you classify your sound as?
I don't even know, bro. I don't like to say it. I'm like,
Gotcha.
you know, I want people to like, you know how people make tight beats on YouTube? I want like a day to come where like, niggas type, Lovel type beat, and like, and then that comes up, because I don't want to say I'm like this guy, that guy. I want to be me, and then people want to like adopt my sound into their sound.
Got you. So I'm assuming you produce most of your own work, or?
I co-produce, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
I like my ear musically, I like what I do, but I feel like there comes growth in collaboration with all creatives. So like everything I do, I co-produce. Recently, I've been getting like a lot of foreign love. I had like these producers, shout out SKBs. I had these producers, SKBs, that just hollered at me from France, and like straight from, like, they didn't even speak English that well, but they were like, yo, we got these beats for you, and they're fire. Can you do something with them? And I was like, hell yeah. And then one of my guys, Gecko Music, he's from like Italy. My bad, I'm fucking up, but he's from somewhere over there. And he sent me some stuff too, and it was fire. So I was like, yo, this is dope. Like, but I love collaborative efforts. I don't really like doing everything. I do everything myself. I engineer myself. I mix all my stuff. I write my stuff. But when it comes to like the actual creation, I love other people being a part of it, just because it compels growth.
Do you always put these pieces together in the same way?
No.
Like,
No.
So
I
it's
could
just
be in
like
a
a
train
variety.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
I do this all the time. I'll be in a train and like somebody will walk by me or like some nigga be fighting this girl and I'll be like, dang, alright, that's a song. And I like take out my voice memo and just like sing like a melody or sing like a concept. And people look at me like I'm crazy, but I don't care. So that's like one way. But then sometimes I'll be like, yo, let me book some time off for me. And then me and my guy will go in the studio and I'll just go and freestyle over some beats and just like, or like sometimes I'll just sit and produce something and like, there's just so many different ways.
That concept was like a real like 90s R&B music video. Like some nigga on the train with his girl fighting and you just in the background singing like I can't no more. Exactly. And when you said that, the imagery was like, yeah, this nigga in the back trying to steal his girl. Like, he don't appreciate you, but I do. Like,
Man, Trace old.
you should take that and make a song. Listen. You can have one.
I might need the feature, I might need the real feature.
Okay. I'm gonna fuck that song. I remember back in like 2011, Lovel was like, yo, you should rap. They had me in my room for like a week, like trying. And you know, you just talking about like the ebbs and flows of like a creative where like, you know, it's not like, it's more cyclical than anything. Like, you know, you just be trash for so long and I don't got time for that. Like, I was trash for like a week, I'm like, let me go study something. Like, let me get back to these books.
You know the power when you want to go study.
Yeah, I was
like
get in the library. This ain't for me. Like,
No, that's a fact. I'm good for that though. Like if I see something in somebody, I'll be like, yo, you should do that shit. And like, I'll have you like really compelled, like really like encouraged. Like,
yeah, he did. We were in Brooklyn actually. We were shooting that. I forgot what song that was.
Oh,
with Green, yeah.
Yeah. Like this.
Yeah, like this. And everybody's like, yo, you should rap. I'm like, maybe I should rap.
And that was when you was like just like getting into
Yeah,
you like,
that sat me for like a week, and I was like, nah, let me finish studying my outside. Oh man. So as far as like progression in your music, like do you hear progression in your sound like from project to project? Like is it something that comes to you naturally, or is it more so like having a trusted team of people around you telling you like, hey, you know, you should grow in this area or you should grow in that area?
I can't do that. I can't have nobody tell me anything.
Okay.
Yeah, like ask him if I'm in the studio and there's too many people in the studio, I might lay some melody down and then I'll just kind of leave the booth and start drinking and like just chilling with people.
Yeah.
Because it's like I don't like too much energy, too many vibes with people I don't really know creatively. Like I like to just sit and let whatever come. And if I'm stuck, recently I've just been traveling this past couple years. I love traveling. So like, even just being I'm about to go to Brazil next week.
Dope.
So like, I'm probably gonna come back with like 14 songs I did, like already just then.
I think you were gonna say 14 kids, but 14 songs. That boy focused on his business. All right.
Yeah, we not going out.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So, do you think? Speaking of traveling, though, do you think traveling has like enhanced your music? Like,
100%.
In what sense do you think?
Just culture. You get influenced by so many different cultures. Like you could see it on my last project that I dropped. We have like samba influence, then I have a Jamaican influence, then I have like you could tell that because I don't like when people just try and like what's it called? Like a culture vulture. I don't like people like trying to just jump onto something because it's the wave. I like to actually do some kind of research and study and feel like it's a part of it, because all of my music is a part of it. So if I'm rocking with a samba record, it's because it came from like a genuine place. Like I might have been in Brazil where like they're super samba heavy and like that song's probably like put together, the concept probably put together out there. Or like if I'm writing a record that has like a Jamaican vibe or like a dancehall kind of vibe, it's probably influenced by experience I had out there and things like that. So like, yeah, traveling definitely helps, and it cleared my mind. Definitely traveling. That shit is love.
Yeah. What was the name of that? Oh, sorry. What was the name of that last project? Just so people.
Oh, Passenger. It's out everywhere. Spotify, Apple Music, shameless plug. Passenger.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Tell me what it's called.
Yeah, it dropped June 12th. All on Spotify, it almost has 500,000 hits, which is amazing. Like, I appreciate everybody for showing love.
Sheesh.
And we just dropped a video for the single Ready. Check that out too. It's doing well. I think that has like 100,000 hits or something like that.
More than that.
Yeah, they got me like 150.
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah, we working. I'm going out to Jamaica, so it's gonna be a lot of influence for my next project.
Okay.
No, I was gonna say, like, since we graduated, well, especially since we graduated, like, I've just been watching you from afar, and I've just noticed your profile's grown and grown. Like, I'll just be checking, you have a new project, you have a higher following, your projects are doing better. I see you on a Fetty Wap feature, and I'm like, you know, just fill me in over these last, like, 5 years, not the whole 5 years, but couple moments or steps you think that have really helped with your growth as an artist.
Well, you mentioned one big one, the WAP situation. We released that record in like 2015 or something like that. And that was just legit off of, so engineering, if you're like a good engineer, or if you're good at anything you do, people are gonna refer you and like, so I just take pride in being, or doing everything that I do. Like I don't halfway anything I do. So like if I engineer for anybody, I'll do it to the fullest. So somehow, like, you know, people I knew and people that he knew, it just kind of like correlated like that. And my guy was like, "You trying to go out to the studio out there?" And I was like, "Cool, they out in Jersey, out in Clifton or something like that." I was like, "Oh, whatever." Like I like Trap. It was like when Trap Me had like 1 million hits.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, so it was like super. It wasn't like where he is now, but he was still like on the bubble. So I had a record that my producer, or like my production partner, my dude Lee, shout out Juice Lee, that's a fire producer. But he was in the studio we had on 42nd Street, on 44th Street. When I came in the studio, I heard him working on some shit that was bumping through the wall, and I was like, that shit me. So I opened the door, and he stopped playing it. And I was like, yo, what is that? He was like, nah, I'm a trash. I was like, bro, if you trash, I'm gonna fight you. Like, do not trash that. He's good for that. He'll make some fire in like 15 minutes and then be like, nah, shit, whack. And I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? But, so that ended up being the move. I wrote that record that night. And then I brought that out to Clifton and then Wap fucked with him. And he laid this shit on it. And I was like, oh, this is fire. Yeah. I like this. So then that's how that kind of turned out. And then he blew up. And then, I mean, a lot of people kind of just like that record and like my stuff, so I kind of got a chill off of that. And then, I don't know, man, performing, just doing shows, just all just networking, building, all that stuff. So.
What would you say out of all that stuff? We graduated what? Damn. 13? I'm lost. What would you say was like the first like major step? Like that, cause you said like, you know, it's cyclical. What was the first step that was like, yo, I can really do this? Or like when you actually saw like people gravitating towards your music, like a real step?
When we released the video for that song.
Gotcha.
That's when like,
World Star?
Yeah. Shout out World Star.
Yeah, I checked, I was like, oh, that's why I first saw that. I was like, that's that nigga Lovel.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yo, I said like,
We're in the track list.
He had like 100,000 views. I said, oh.
I was like, yo, that's dope.
Yeah, no, I mean, World Star's a fire platform. People be coming on World Star to kill niggas though. Like, I was reading through comments and I was like crying. Like, it was so funny. Like, I was like, damn, y'all niggas is talented. Like, like that's a skill. Like, I was amazed. Like, it was.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I was reading the comments, some nigga did call you like a slim Barry White or something.
Bro.
And I was like, damn.
So I heard like a gay Jeremiah. I heard some of the wildest out there, bro, and I was just like, oh, I had to salute you, bro. That was funny, because I was laughing at myself, like, but, I mean, you're gonna get both of those. You're gonna get all kinds of reactions to everything.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, people on the internet be funny as fuck.
Yeah.
Like trolls, they like, yo, y'all niggas are creative, man.
Yeah.
Quick. Yeah, if you have to get paid for this. Like.
But yeah, no, the World Star thing was big.
Mm-hmm.
And then that just like had people reaching out. I had like labels reaching out and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but realistically, the first thing that I noticed was the best man thing. Like, and before that, like I was working at a TV and film house, and that's how I got to the best man situation. And when I just saw like, I was an intern there, and I interned for a little bit, and one of the interns like fucked up a session, and they were like, who else knows how to record? I was like, I gotta do this. And he's like, I hop on. And then ever since that client only came to me.
Gotcha.
So then I caught a check like a month later, and graduating college, like you were seeing like no money.
Yeah.
So
Any
like,
check
I
is a
couldn't
blessing.
afford haircuts. Like, I mean, I look like I can't afford haircuts now, but
That's the style though.
yeah. But no, I still got the money.
You good?
But yeah, like I saw a check off of that, and I was still a senior in college. It was still like right before we graduated. And I was like, oh, like this is like not a little bit of money. Like, like, all right. Going out of college, I was, you know how you're supposed to have a job coming out of college. All that shit. I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna do that for as long as I can do that, and then it started to just kind of build. So I wasn't even doing artistry then. I was just doing music behind the scenes to like make money, and network, and connect, and all that. And that like was the foundation for my artistry now. So,
Gotcha.
and
So as far as like, if you had to pick one person that's been instrumental to you, who would you choose?
in entertainment or like in life?
In life, like as far as like, I mean, I know that like everything ain't up and up. I mean, we're talking about all your accomplishments. Everything is not up and up. It's never is for anyone. So who would be like the person that you look towards and makes you keep striving and makes you keep pushing forward?
I got a couple.
And
So like, my big brother, that nigga's been on me since I was little. Like, I would make records in the house. Like I said, we shared a room, so I would make records in the house, and I'd be so happy with the record. And then I'd be like, yo, listen to this. He'd be like, yo, you need to sing better. I'm like, damn, like, cool, like. But then recently he came to one of my shows, or I think he saw a video of one of my shows, and he was like, yo, bro, your vocals is on point. And hearing that from him, coming from like, nigga, you suck, was like amazing. So like, he's always pushed me, and I'll still like come to him when like I'm in like not a bind, but when I'm like in a mental bind. But I'm like, I need to do this, what should I do? Even though he's like, he doesn't have music experience, he just has like wisdom, and he'll just always bless. And then like my mom, she's always been like instrumental, but I feel like that's everybody's mom, you know?
Nah,
Most of us.
Your mom is like
Yeah, my mom was like
every basketball game, every show.
Yeah. I could be at like, I could do a show at a strip club, and she'd be like, you want me to come? I'm like,
This one you
no, you can sit this one out. You want a little ass clapping nigga, right?
Like, you good, man? You wanna dance?
And she'll be like, you want some water? You like working hard.
My mom from Georgia, my mom from the South. So like, when I was holding sessions in the crib, she was like downstairs, like, dang, this nigga's I need to make some chicken, I need to make some like mac and cheese. And I was like, so people would come to my crib just because she would finesse food while they was recording. Like, it was love.
Yes.
But yeah, definitely my mom.
Gotcha.
But there's a lot of people that just like, there's too many to like name. But those are like two that are like up there.
Gotcha.
What about in entertainment?
In entertainment, of course, my guy Nick Wiz, he's like a hip hop producer. He did like Rakim, Cellar Dwellers, like all that stuff. He's like, if I had any kind of situation, I call him and he'll make me feel 100% better about it.
Gotcha.
So, like, that's like he's like my uncle, but my brother. Like, he's like everything. Like, he holds me down all the time. And yeah, that's my homie. Like, everybody else in the industry, you know, I'm super cordial, super nice. I don't get real close with a lot of people. That's like my guy. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you mentioned, you know, you got a couple of label offers, things of that nature. Turning those down, was that like a conscious decision?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't want to get too much into your business, but was that like more like a choice to remain independent? And if so, why?
Well, I'm not like, I love being independent. I love having all the control in my situation. But I'm not opposed to like signing with a label, it's the right situation. But those just wasn't the right situation. Like, it was either they wanted something I wasn't willing to give, or, you know, I mean, that's how it always is. It's like if someone offer you a job
Don't let anything get you in a 360.
but you know what I mean? The right 360 can be right for the right artist. So I'm not gonna like I'm not gonna like knock it.
Explain how.
So the way I look at deals is, it's just like the way I look at jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you wouldn't take a job that just didn't make sense for your life. But if it made sense for your life at the time, you take it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not saying like sign your life away, because that's what a lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
Like make sure you have a good lawyer. But yeah, that's another thing. People are down to how they like your attorneys in this whole process. But yeah, just I would say, and I tell this to all like my clients that ask me for advice and stuff, just make sure you do as much as you can to give yourself leverage.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't want to go to a label or like sit down with a label and not have any kind of leverage.
Mm-hmm.
And even where I am, and I feel like I'm far from where I want to be, but I had a label meeting, and because of the connections I had with who wanted to sign me, she was like 100% frank, 100% transparent. She was like, listen, I have a deal for you for this amount of money right now, but you can keep doing what you're doing by yourself for the next 6 months, and I'll have a way better deal for you. And I was like, I appreciate you for that. Like,
yeah, because most people wouldn't even tell you that. Yeah.
At all. So that's kind of how I look at it, you know, if it makes sense for you.
I mean, and you believed it, not that she was lying, but you know, you have a good valuation on your self-worth is basically what I'm asking.
Yeah, I feel like, and this is the goal, I feel like I'm gonna make money to feed myself, my family, you know, pay the bills and all that stuff on my own doing music.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna make that grow every year, every day. So, and that's what labels are looking for. If they looking for people that are doing it without them. They're not looking for someone that they gotta do it for.
Yeah.
They looking for someone that's doing it without them, and now they can help. So, I'm 100% confident in the fact that I can do that.
Yeah.
That's why I had no problem just saying, oh, thank you, but it's all right.
I mean, I think that's actually like pretty great advice, like to try to have as much leverage as possible in royalty situations, because most people don't have any leverage, and you know, you fill out numbers, you're going to this like big ass record label, and you most of them just gas just to even be there, and they're just signing stuff. But
That's a good. How do you? I don't know how many meetings, and again, please don't just share what you want. But how has it changed since your first meeting to now? Like, were you nervous in the first meeting? How are you now in a meeting?
I was fortunate to have my guy Nick Wiz with me for those first couple meetings, so I wasn't at all. Because if you know anything about Wiz, he's like, "Nah, we good in here." Like,
yeah,
make sure I'm like, "Ah, cool, I'm chilling." Like, I'm just sit back and like, make sure things go how they go. But
Such an asset.
yeah, for sure. You definitely need people on your side like that. But now, I mean, I'm just kind of used to it. So. I actually recently haven't even really taken much meetings. I kind of just want to do, I have a plan for what I want to do. I just want to do it. And once I do it, then maybe I'll kind of course some meetings to see what happens. You know?
Gotcha. Speaking to that, just speak a little bit towards the importance of having a good team around you.
Super important. This is like my bro. Like I've known him for like 15 years.
Yeah, since freshman year of high school.
Yeah, since freshman year of high school.
Well, speak to him. Like, I mean, like, to tell people who he is.
Oh yeah, shout out my bro Kenny Black. He actually has a podcast too, the Black Room Podcast. Like I said, he's like on the squad, management, all of that stuff. He kind of just anything I need because I've been self-managed for so long. But anything it's been like overwhelming. So anything that I need, I'll be like, Black. Can you do this for me? Can you express this for me? Can you do that? And on top of that, he's like a dope artist, a dope rapper, writer, all that stuff, producer, engineer. So
you niggas is talented.
That's how we actually like connected. It was like, oh, you sing, I rap, and then we just kind of ran from there.
Got you.
Yeah, that's exactly how it happened. And in high school, we were just like, we both do music. Let's be cool. And then we ended up being, I'm like the godfather of his daughter now. So that's like the type of team I like to have around, like him, or like I said, my guy Wiz, like people that I know. If I wasn't like, if there was no business involved, that's just my guy.
Yeah.
So then you know that there's no shadiness because there's no shadiness in our relationship outside of it. So
Excuse me.
that's kind of how, and I keep it real small. Not so many people know about the moves I make or anything I do. And I feel like that's how you should be in life.
Yeah, let some people in.
What's the? I'm sorry.
No.
I was just wondering, what's the process of filling out the rest of your team? Like you mentioned, the publicist before.
I mean, that's another thing that you kind of take step by step. So like I'm big on like making every day bigger than yesterday. So for me, like I was like, oh, you know, I've been on this blog and this blog and this blog already. So now what do I need to do to make my next progression? Then like shows, and we did like a New York stretch and like or just like an East Coast stretch of shows. And it's like, all right, now what? So it's like you kind of like gauge it based on all of that kind of stuff. So I ended up meeting my publicist through my guy Wiz, and you know, she was like, yo, I can do this and that for you. And I was like, all right, that makes sense for what I want to do next. So then that's how. And it's funny because right before I met her, I met some other publicists who was kind of talking crazy. I won't say nothing crazy about nobody, but she was kind of talking like, she was saying what she could do and like provide. It just didn't sound like it made sense for what I wanted. So I was like, all right, thank you, but have a mistake.
How important is your gut? How important is your gut in any decision?
100%. Like, if I don't, I'm big on energy. So like, if I catch like a weird vibe from you, if I catch a weird energy or anything like that, I'm off it. I'll just be super, super quiet. And that's how you know, like, if I fuck with you, if I don't fuck with you.
Yeah.
Not that like me fucking with you is like anything, but if I'm real quiet around you, then like, I'm either like trying to fill out your energy or just, I'm already off it. So like, I trust my gut in all these situations, just because that's the energy that people put on. And that don't like dissipate, like energy just morphs. So if someone put negative energy out, it's just like sitting in that environment. So if I receive it, that means someone in the situation was putting that shit out there. So like, I'm real big on that.
Got you. Any upcoming projects you're working on? New music?
Well, so Passenger just dropped. We just pushing that right now.
Okay.
Everybody get that, stream that. Passenger is the second of a 3-project trilogy.
Okay.
So I released Backseat Memories. I don't know if y'all heard that. Backseat Memories came out in 2015, right after I dropped the Fetty Wap record. And that was like, the concept at first was like I said, we had a studio on 44th Street. I was like, we were making songs at nighttime, and I was like, damn, I gotta hop in this Uber and go home. So like, I was finishing the records in the backseat of these cars. Like, I was finishing the records in the backseat of these Ubers. So that's when it's like a backseat memory, because, and like, we be drinking stuff, so it's like, a lot of times you don't forget, or you don't remember like the night, but you know, the record I remember.
Yeah.
Like, it's there. So that's where the concept initially came from. And then like, I kind of like played it to like, or thought about it, and thought about where I was in my career. And like, I thought about like a car, and how like, when you're in the backseat of it, whether you intoxicated or you just not to drive, but like in the back of it, you can't really control what's going on. Like, so you just like, you're just there for the ride. So that project came out, and it did alright. It got like a Hot 97 feature and all that stuff, which is super cool.
That's dope.
And like, that's dope for me being from New York. So I was like, Hot 97 show love. That's like, I listen to Hot 97 every damn day. So like, so The Passenger is the second installment, and I kind of like looked at it in 2 ways. In between, since 2015 and 2018, I traveled hella, because I was like, I wanted to experience the world so big. I wanted to see the world. So I wanted to experience, like my production partner, Lee, he's like, he loves the Brazilian culture. So like, he went as far as like learning Portuguese. Like, he's fluent. Yeah, like,
that's dedication.
Yeah, like, he's fluent. And so we went out to Brazil together, and then like, I went to Jamaica one way there, and like, I just wanted to travel and see the world. So between then and now, Passenger is kind of just like me being a passenger on these trips, kind of like seeing the road and seeing how life is in other places, embracing other cultures. And then I also looked at it with the car like analogy, and now like, I'm in the passenger seat, and I relate that to my career, where it's like, I get a little bit more. Like I'm not like in the backseat no more.
Yeah.
Like if the nigga's driving and he's like steering off the road,
Yeah,
like,
you grab that shit.
you know what I'm saying? I can help out a little bit, or like I can fuck with the aux a little bit now. You know, so I now I'm like trying to like gauge it based on where I am in my career.
Mm-hmm.
So the third one that's coming out is called Drive, and that's where I ultimately want to be in the driver's seat and where I want to be career wise.
Gotcha.
So right now I'm writing that. I've been honestly writing that before now, but I'm writing that and like I said, I'm traveling a little more to get some more influence and just see what comes.
Yeah, that's dope, man. So as far as like your writing process, you say you don't like having too many people in the studio with you. So do you like write alone, and then when do you like allow people to actually hear your stuff?
So it's not like allowing people. Like I don't care, but like sometimes I'll have a concept. Like I said, I have a concept randomly, and I have like 5,000 voice memos on my phone that I gotta go through. But like I was in the studio just kicking it, like, and just have an idea and just work on it. I just don't have like a party sessions. I don't have like if there's like 10 people in the studio, then it's like, all right, cool, we just back and just kick it and chill.
Yeah.
And I might like still go and work on something, but like I like to like really be focused. I like to, even when I'm drinking shit, I like to just be drinking and still just be like, all right, let me get out of here. Yeah, because you're like, if you watch me in the studio, I'm kind of like I got blinders on. So like I have to really like just be like in tune with the song. So like I'll be hearing it and niggas be doing some shit in the corner, and I'll just be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna do it. And then like, you know what I'm saying? So like I'll block out everything that's going on and just like work on it. So I honestly don't even know if I answered the question, but
it's funny because it's really like Jay-Z, like where he don't necessarily write it. He won't necessarily write, but it'll be like, when you said he was thinking, and he'll go on and move, and like, then he'll say something, and you're like, when did you think of that? You know what I mean? Like, we was all drinking, and like, all right, and he'll hear the beat for like the first 10 seconds, and like, I got something for that. I'm like, what? And then it'll be dope. It won't even be like bubble gum or like, it'll actually be pretty dope. And I'm like, that's dope.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't like writing stuff down anymore. The TV and film world kind of helped me not do that anymore. Cause like we would get like Coca-Cola would send us an email in the morning, and they'd be like, all right, so we need this song to be like this, this, and this. And there'll be like 3 like top 100 Billboard songs, and then it'd be like 10 in the morning, or maybe like 9 in the morning, and they needed like we need it written, recorded, produced, mixed, sent out by noon. We're like, oh shit, what? Like, so then that's like, all right, cool, everybody. And I like that place because it worked like a machine. So like the producers would work, then they shoot it over to us. Then we like write and lay some down, and we shoot it to the mix engineer. So like it worked. It worked out well.
So are these like jingles? Like, cause I'm picturing like Jamie Foxx shows.
It was similar to that, but it wasn't jingles. Like it was like
actual
you working on like you working on music. Like
gotcha.
Because there's jingle houses too. I didn't necessarily want to do that because I feel like that boxes your creativity. Like your creative vision boxes that all the way. But with this, it was cool because it was like a full studio where like, we worked with hella artists too, and we did a lot of stuff. But that made you like write songs real fast.
Gotcha.
I wrote full songs in like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and laid it down, got it out.
Yeah, I mean, damn, it sounds like a challenge. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that like helped you grow as an artist, but it's like you're like under. You look broke your
man, I'm like, you see,
some chicken butt, but
you can't be doing that with the dreads no more.
I forget.
Obviously, shit. I was like, you good?
Nigga felt the wind.
But nah, I'm like working under those like strict time pressures. I'm sure like it was like a challenge, and like you challenge yourself, and
yeah, because you don't know you could do something.
Yeah, it's just gonna push you to that point.
Like it's even like in the gym, you know, like you look at these heavy ass weights, like damn, I can't lift that. Then you go and like you try and like oh it ain't that bad. Like it's still bad. Like, it ain't that bad. So it's the same kind of idea.
Got you. So right now, focus on Passenger. You have like any upcoming shows or anything like that, or working on like any videos?
So
for
yeah,
Passenger?
I got a video coming out soon. I'm shooting it in October.
Okay.
I'm really excited. I'm shooting it out of the country, and that's all I'm gonna say. But it's gonna be like more of a story, and I'm excited to shoot it just because I ultimately want to get into like the film world. Like I feel like I have an okay eye when it comes to like visual stuff, and I've just been doing research and just trying to learn as much as I can about that in my spare time. And I'm super interested in it. So going into this video, I think it's gonna be a nice transition.
Like when you direct yourself, you writing treatment on
we came together with the treatment for it, and like even like I kind of want to sit on some shots and like make sure like you know what I'm saying, like I want to be a part of that, like because that's just like that to me.
Yeah.
So new video coming soon, real soon, and we gonna do some shows soon. I kind of just want to like let people hear the music and enjoy the music. I've been performing it for like the past year, so.
How many tracks are on it?
It's 8, right? 8 songs.
8 or 9.
Yeah.
That's easy to digest.
Actually, wait. There's something around there. It might be 10, but
that's still that's in the range nowadays.
That's it. I write a lot of songs, so like I don't even know. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, it's 9.
It's 9. It's 9. See, I said 8 and 10, so we'll split the difference.
Not even averages.
You say, yeah, I got my degree.
That's a fact.
Are there any artists out that inspire you?
Yes, The Weeknd, amazing. The Dream, amazing. The Dream is probably one of the most underrated writers of our generation. Like, The Dream is the problem.
You know what's funny? I used to doubt him until I watched, what was that corny ass show that was on VH1? But it was so entertaining. With him, Rick Ross,
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
The Deal or something like that.
Yeah. I know
But when I actually saw like The Dream in the studio and like the way he was just critiquing other artists' work, I was like, oh, he's really talented. Like, then I went back and did my research on him, and I was like, yo, he's been doing this shit for years.
So it's all right.
Yeah, he's behind. Like his writing credits are extensive. So
T-Pain too. T-Pain's a genius. Yeah, his vocal work is people like shunned him because of that whole. I'm happy he's getting love now. But people like kind of put him in a box because that auto-tune.
He can really sing though, which is wild.
And if you listen to like the vocal harmonies, and if you're gonna watch, I'm about to put you on. You gotta listen to one of his records and don't listen to the lead vocal, listen to the harmonies and all of the background vocal work. You're gonna hear him a whole different way. The way he puts together his harmonies is genius, like crazy. I don't know. Drake is talented to me. I don't know if I like. Nah, I'm not gonna take nothing away from Drake. But you know what it is? He's also like a super talented marketer. Like he knows how to.
That's really where he needs stuff.
Yeah. Nah, he's an amazing songwriter too. But he knows how to. Like the songs that go aren't his best penned songs. So he knows how to just market songs that he knows will market well.
That's true.
Cause he has some records, I'm like, damn, this shit's fire. But then maybe in his mind he's like, nah, I can make this one go. Like, I let it go. So it's like, alright, good. Like the Nice for What thing, that was not like his best record on, like far from his best record on that project. But he was smart the way he did it. He like put the video with all of the like prominent black women, and even like it wasn't even just black women, but just like that nigga's a genius, but like it's a marketer.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, that song was fire. That song was big with him, but
It was.
Yeah.
They got vision song.
But like sonically, like it's not like to me, it wasn't like an amazing. It was a good song, but it wasn't like his best song.
who would you say is the best song on that project, man?
You might have to sit down and listen to that project. Not like now, but like in order for me to say that, I don't know.
It was a double project.
Yeah, it was too.
He been doing that a lot lately. 25 tracks. I'm like, man.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to get into a trade, but you said you listen to some of his songs, some of his better penned songs. Any come to mind that he didn't push that you think are better than the singles that he did push?
Oh, I mean, nothing was the same. He has like a whole bunch of records that like, yeah, that might not have went marketing wise, but he knew which ones would have went marketing wise.
Yeah.
And they were clearly not. And that's how a lot of industry is. Where you kind of like you push the records that you need to push, but the way he pushing them is so smart. Like,
Yeah.
You can tell he really fine tuned.
I'm glad we took it because I wanted to ask you that. How do you find the balance between making music that you want to make versus making music that's marketable or that people want to hear?
So, for me as an artist, there's no balance. I wouldn't make music just for people. Like, I wouldn't make music just to make music that people wanted to hear. I would make the music I wanted to make and hope what I wanted to make is what they want to hear. You know? So if they don't want to hear it, then that's on me, you know? But
that's not true, because you can't be a broke nigga. Your mama already told you that.
But listen, I mean, you know, it is so many other ways out here. But now, like, I just try and, I wouldn't have started making music if I didn't think people would have been receptive to it. I wouldn't have, when I write records, I'm like, dang, I feel like people would feel this. Like, not saying I'm doing it for them to feel it, but I'm saying like I try. And one thing I like about The Dream is that he knows how to write, he knows how to say things in a way that you think it, but don't know how to say it. So that's why I love just listening to The Dream pen. It's like, there'll be a line and you're like, damn, bro, like, in your head, you're like, I know I thought that shit 100 times, but I just didn't know how to put it into words.
Gotcha.
So like, I feel like a lot of stuff that I try and write in a way where it's like, people will be receptive to it because I feel like we're all relatable. Like we all live through different things in life. And
I think the balance comes from writing as the artist, as a creator, and a fan. So like he said, like you're making music for our generation. So it's like if I like to hear this one line repeated in a song, then he might make a song that's repeated, but it's like it was my line, like it's something I related to, and it just happens to be repeated in the band because I want to hear that same repetition. So it's like a combination of being the creative and the fan, because it has to be something that I would bump at the club afterwards, even though it's my own song. So it's not biased. It's just I like it.
Yeah, I also feel like we're all like biologically naturally just different. So thinking you have to conform is like what's wrong with society. So like, if you just, like people like, I get a lot of interviews when people say, oh, what makes you stand out as an artist? I'm like, nothing, like, well, actually, everything. So it's like, there's nothing I do that makes me stand out as an artist. I just choose to be me. Because Lovel, there's only one Lovel, there's only one Rel, there's only one Black. Like, if we choose to be who we actually naturally are, then you already stand out as a person. So I just try and do that with music.
Snaps on that one.
Don't worry, I'm gonna tweet that out tonight. With my quotes up.
So yeah, I mean, so it goes with the music. Like I would never look at this and be like, oh damn, I gotta make a song like that to pop. And it's like, no, I mean, I'm gonna just do what I am and hope people like it. And I've been fortunate enough that people have been liking it so far. So
that's what's up. So you just make songs that are for yourself, and then as far as singles go, then that's when you decide. Yeah,
well, singles is like I said, with Drake is like, he's smart with marketing. So when I'm making all the music, I'll make a whole lot, like a shit ton of music. But then when I'm like looking at all the songs together, I'm like, oh, this one might be able to knock in the club. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But when I'm actually making music, I'm not thinking, oh, but afterwards you gotta look at it, because then at the end of the day, it's still your product.
That is actually fact. That's what's up, actually, because you can hear when people force music. Like you can hear it immediately. Like, I mean, even sometimes people force music and it turns out to be a hit, but you still know, like,
you can see it was like manufactured.
This really ain't you. That's what's up, man.
It takes discipline not to use like your album favorite as your single, because you know it might not go.
Yeah, that's the one area where I like having people around. Because then like I like to get like different opinions. Because there's like my favorite song, for example, my favorite song on Passenger is Heart and Lungs, and that's because it came from like a personal place. But I know damn well that's not no kind of single record. Like it depending on how it's released or whatever. But like I feel like there's other records on it that other people would be more receptive to, which is I have a personal favorite. But yeah, it's like you said, discipline.
Got you.
I would just listen to hear you talking about music. Any projects or two that you heard were released this year that really caught your ears?
Yes. R.I.P. Mac Miller. His project was so fire. Swimming, bro. Yo, that man is talented, bro.
Yeah.
And it's sad that it took him passing for people to realize how talented he was.
Mm-hmm.
But shout out to Kanye for like having his hand in like
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, like fire music this
A little
summer.
bit of everything.
So just all of Kanye's collective this summer, I would say, amazing. And shout out to Ty Dolla $ign for being like the low key like clutch nigga on every.
He will sleep on that nigga. Yo, he is all over the place.
Yeah, his pen is actually pretty crazy too.
He can make a song for you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
get on the hook real quick, one little verse, like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then he wrote that Chris Brown record. Deuces.
He wrote
I think he wrote. Someone told me he wrote that. So don't quote me.
I'm
Someone told me that.
about to Google that
Yeah,
right
someone
now.
told me that. So if that's true, then it just backs up the fact that his pen is stupid.
Sheesh.
I could be wrong though, but someone did tell me that recently. But yeah, Ty Dolla $ign.
That song came out at such a perfect time for me. Like I had a breakup and then that joint came out and it was like, I'm bumping this for like the next
Chris
5
Brown
months.
had everyone
Yeah.
fucking.
I went to a Chris Brown concert. I went to the Barclays concert.
Mhm.
He's like super talented.
He's super talented.
I wasn't like a big Chris Brown fan. Not like I did not like him.
Mhm.
But I just wasn't like all the way into it the way people were like, oh.
Yeah.
Like
Nah,
people
I
say he's the
was-
next Michael Jackson, I'll be like, oh, I don't know, y'all kind of tripping. Because I'm a big Michael Jackson fan. But then I went to this concert, I was like, alright,
He's really talented.
Mhm.
I remember like being younger, growing up, and being like, I ain't listening to that nigga music, and go home with the CD player, like,
Yeah.
yo, Timmy Fellas, have you seen that? I said, oh, yeah, man.
And he has so many hits. Like I realized that in the concert where like his set was like, it felt like 3 different sets.
Mhm.
It felt like he did like 10 songs from this era,
Mhm.
10 songs from another one, and then like 5 of his old joints. I was like, damn, bro, you have mad songs.
Yeah.
And they were all hits. I was like, damn, this was like,
And he's young, he only like, what, a year or 2 older than us, maybe?
mhm.
If that.
Yeah, only a few of this generation got more hits.
Mhm.
Like Drake.
Yeah. They look like a good man. Like, so, yeah.
Any parting words for the people?
Yeah. Make sure you plug away.
Listen.
Tell them where to find you, all that good stuff.
Appreciate y'all for having me.
Of course, man.
Thank you for taking the time. I'm not gonna cut you, but thank you.
You big money now. Come out here showing with us a little common folk.
Listen, we all kind of folk too, you know.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, just holler at me on the gram. I write songs, all spelled right. I write songs. Twitter, it's Lovel Music, ITS, LOVEL Music.
Mm-hmm.
SoundCloud's the same thing. Facebook's the same thing. Just check out Passenger. It's on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon, Google Play, Deezer, all that shit. So
You want title?
we are on time.
There you go.
Yeah. So get it everywhere.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Y'all make sure y'all check out Passenger. You already said it's everywhere. The boy is uber talented. I've seen his growth over the years.
It's good to see, man.
Yeah, it's
Keep
really
going.
good. Yeah, man.
Keep
It's good
grinding.
to see someone's growth. Remember you was recording in the dorm, man. You already making moves. That's what's up for us. So yeah, make sure y'all check out Passenger. I write songs on IG. It's Lovel Music on Twitter. Passenger's available everywhere. You gotta check that out. As always, thank you for listening to the podcast. Make sure y'all rate, share, subscribe. Y'all know where to find us. Y'all know what to do already. Y'all share that shit. Spread the love with the world. We'll keep doing this for you guys. Coming up on the 2-year anniversary soon.
Mm-hmm.
Got the 100th episode. What episode is this? 96?
Or 97.
Nah, we on 100.
Freaking on 100.
So yeah, I mean, we wouldn't even do this if it wasn't for you guys. So thanks for all the love and the support. Until next time, it's cooling out.
Stay cool.
Oh man, thank you for coming through, man.
Of course, thank y'all for having me, man.
Oh, shit.